chemistry, I am going to discuss some parts of coordination compound. Yes, today my topic is valence bond theory. Valence bond theory. Valence bond theory. This theory was given by Pauling and it is based on the fact that the metal and the ligands form coordinate bond. In this coordinate bond, the electron pair is donated by the ligands and the central metal atom or ion provides empty hybrid orbitals for these ligands to form a coordinate bond, to form or you can say to form coordinate bonds with the ligands. This theory helps us to study the geometry of to study the structure or the geometry of the complexes, and it also helps us to study the magnetic properties of complexes to some extent. So, let us understand what is this theory. In this theory, what I told that in the formation of metal ligand bond, electron pair is given by the ligands. The ligands may be negative, may be neutral or may be positive. Ligands, we all know that any species which has the capacity to donate a pair of electron, that is a ligand. And these ligands, we all know that these ligands forms coordinate bond with what? With the central metal atom or ion. Now, this central metal atom or ion provides empty hybrid orbitals for the ligands to form complexes, and this state of hybridization helps to determine the geometry of the complex compound. Yes, let us just discuss at first how can we determine from the state of hybridization what is the geometry. See, if the hybridization is sp3, if the state of hybridization is sp3, then the geometry of the complex will be tetrahedral. If the state of hybridization is dsp2, then the geometry of the complex compound will be square planar. If the state of hybridization is sp3d2 or d2sp3, then the geometry of the complex is octahedral. Okay. Now, you see, in this we can easily understand that 1s and 3p orbital. Here ds and p orbitals are involved. Here you see there are two types we have written, sp3d2 and d2sp3. Here students will have to understand that sometimes the inner d orbitals participate in hybridization, that is d2sp3. d2sp3. It is inner orbital complex. Orbital complex. Here inner d orbitals are involved in formation of hybridization and are involved in formation of coordinate bond with the ligands. Here the outer d orbital is involved, so it is known as outer orbital complex. By taking various examples, I will be explaining this geometry of some of the complexes But before that, we'll have to keep it in our mind that the ligands are categorized into two. One is strong ligand and another is weak ligand. So, depending upon the strength of the ligand, the geometry of the complex sometimes depends. Because strong ligand cause pairing of electrons of the central metal atom or ion, and that leads to low spin complexes, while weak ligand do not cause such pairing of electrons in central metal atom or ion, so that leads to high spin complex. Okay. Now, if in the complex we can see there are unpaired electrons, then the complex will be paramagnetic, and if there is no unpaired electron, then complex is diamagnetic. Now, let me take up some examples to explain this. Okay. Let us take up the example of nickel tetracarbonyl, NiCO4. Okay. In NiCO4, our first task is to find out the oxidation state of central metal atom nickel. Here we all know that carbonyl is a neutral ligand, so its oxidation state is 0. So the oxidation state of nickel is 0. So the electronic configuration of nickel will be what? Argon, we all know, 3d8 4s2. First step is this. Now, second step, the electronic configuration of nickel in NiCO4. This will have to understand. NiCO4, sorry, I have written like this, it will be NiCO4. Electronic configuration of nickel in NiCO4. Now you will say that what is the difference? Yes students, here you will have to understand the concept of strong ligand and weak ligand. Yes, there is a spectrochemical series given in which the ligands are arranged in order of their strength. Okay, here I have taken up the example of carbonyl. We should remember that carbonyl is a strong ligand. Carbonyl is a strong ligand. Similarly, cyanide is also a strong ligand. Hydroxy OH minus is also a strong ligand. So, we can keep up in our mind strong ligand. Some examples of strong ligands: carbonyl, then OH minus, hydroxy, then cyanide minus. These are all strong ligands. So, what we'll have to understand, you see here, we are writing the configuration of nickel 3d8 4s2. How the electrons are placed in nickel? Nickel 28, how the electrons are placed? If we talk about the valence, S and N minus 1 d orbital. How the electrons are placed here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Electrons are like this placed in d orbital, and in this 4s it has 2 electrons, and in this 4p, 4s, in this 4p is vacant. You can draw 4d also. Now, nickel in nickel tetracarbonyl. Here, how it will be the configuration? Since carbonyl is a strong ligand, it will cause pairing of electron. This is the most basic thing which we'll have to understand, that if there is a strong ligand, then that will cause pairing of electron. So these two electrons will go in this 3D and this 4s electron will move in it. So we are getting 3D fulfilled. Now there are 4 carbonyl molecules. So we need 4 empty hybrid orbitals. So 1 4s and 3 4p. 4s and 3 4p. 1 4s and 3 4p orbital will combine to give sp3 hybrid orbital. Okay, see, first of all I told that you write the electronic configuration. You find out the oxidation state of central metal atom or ion. Next, you write the electronic configuration. Then you write the electronic configuration of the complex. How the electrons will be placed in this complex in central metal atom or ion. For this, what I told, you will have to remember that ligands are categorized as strong ligand and weak ligand. I have given example of some strong ligands, carbonyl, hydroxy, Cn-. Weak ligand also you can remember some examples. Weak ligands, water, then halides, all are weak ligands. Then what I told, the strong ligands will cause pairing of electrons in central metal atom or ion. So it has caused the pairing of electron in central metal atom or ion. So it is providing 1s and 3p orbital, empty hybrid orbital for carbonyl to make coordinate bond with nickel. Now, so we can write NiCO whole 4. NiCO whole 4, how it will be? 3D, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10. And now, in this sp3 hybridized orbital, you can show like this way or you can show like this way also. In this sp3 hybridized orbital, 4 carbonyl molecule will make 4 coordinate bond. These electrons are being donated by carbonyl molecules. You can show like this way also. These electrons are donated by carbonyl molecules. So 4 carbonyl molecule will make 4 coordinate bond with this sp3 hybridized orbital. sp3 hybridized orbital. So what will be the geometry of the complex? Geometry will be, whenever there is sp3 hybridization, geometry is tetrahedral. So the geometry is tetrahedral. So if you are asked to find out the geometry of nickel tetracarbonyl, then you will have to write like this way and you will find the geometry to be tetrahedral. Okay? Next, I'll be taking one example of a weak ligand, suppose. Example of a weak ligand. Of a complex which is containing a weak ligand. Suppose we are taking COF6. COF6 3 minus. First task is is to find out the oxidation state of cobalt. What will be the oxidation state of cobalt? X minus 6 is equal to minus 3. So X will be equal to minus 3 plus 6, that will be equal to 3. So the oxidation state of cobalt is plus 3. What is the oxidation state of cobalt over here? Plus 3. So let us write the electronic configuration of cobalt 3. I hope all of you know the electronic configuration of cobalt. What is that? 3d7 4s2. Now, what will be the electronic configuration of cobalt 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be 3d6. 4, 5, 6. Cobalt is having 3d7. Cobalt 27, it is having 3d7 4s2 electron, argon 3d7 4s2. So cobalt 3 will be having 3d6 electronic configuration. So we are showing like this 3, 4, 5, 6. In 3 or d orbital it is having 6 electron. Now 4s is completely vacant, 4p is completely vacant, and 4d. It is also completely vacant. Here you see, one thing we'll have to keep it in our mind. What? The strength of the ligand. Here, fluorine is a weak ligand. Fluorine is a weak ligand. So, it cannot pair up the electrons of central metal ion cobalt. It will not cause pairing of electron in central metal ion cobalt. So, how many orbitals cobalt will provide for this fluoride ion to form coordinate bond? This we'll have to understand. Yes, 6 is the coordination number. 6 ligands are present. So, it needs 6 empty hybrid orbital to form coordinate bond with 6 F minus ion. So, CO3 plus in COF6, 3 minus will be like this. Now, 4s, 4p, 4d. You see, 1 4s, 6 orbitals, hybrid orbital we need. So 1 4s, s, 3p, sp3 and 2d, sp3, d2 we are getting. Rest 3, 4d is here. 4d. So, how can you represent this COF6 3 minus? It will be like this. There will be no pairing of electrons over here. Now, in this sp3d2 hybridized orbital of cobalt, sp3d2, sp3d2, sp3d2 hybridized orbital of cobalt, 6 F minus ion will provide 6 electron pair to form 6 coordinate bond. 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10. Okay. And rest 4d will be like this. It is vacant. Now, see, 6 F minus ion is providing 6 pair of electron to form 6 coordinate bond with sp3d2 hybrid orbital of cobalt. So the hybridization will be octahedral. No, hybridization is sp3d2. So geometry is octahedral. Geometry is octahedral. Now, here students, you will have to mention that it is a outer orbital complex since outer d orbital is involved in hybridization. So, you can write here outer orbital complex. Next, you see there are unpaired electrons. So, you can say this is paramagnetic substance. So, you see how valence bond theory is helpful to determine the geometry of the molecule and also to determine the magnetic properties of the complexes to certain extent. Thank you.